25/8 is in the business of time. We help leaders of small and medium-sized businesses work smarter, not harder, so they feel like they have an extra hour in the day and day in the week. Go from don't know what I don't know to I can't miss this show, as we talk proven strategies, practical tips and insider insights from a diverse range of industry leaders. Make time to grow your capabilities and confidence with 25/8. Most small business owners reach a plateau, not because they lack talent, but because they have become the limiting factor in their own success. To scale, you must stop being the engine and start being the engineer. The transition isn't just a change in schedule, though. It's a neurological rewiring. We have to retrain our brain. Welcome to this episode of Make Time, where I'll deep dive into the 10 essential mindset shifts backed by psychological principles and practical tools to help you build a business that thrives without your constant intervention. I'm your host, Sam, and I'm passionate about helping you and your business thrive by working smarter, not harder. And thank you for joining me on this episode. I recently interviewed Jessica Sammet. She's an osteo who has successfully removed the reliance on her for her business growth. She still sees clients, but she has a multi-location practice that can operate without her. In fact, Jess said to me, she gets a little bit annoyed when she has to do anything. Jess is passionate about helping others to do the same, which is one of the reasons she's also a 25/8 business coach. And as we were chatting, I reflected on how we help others to do this and what has to happen to make the change. We focus on helping you build a really solid growth strategy, but we also help you make the shift from Chief Everything Officer to take on a Chief Executive Officer mindset for your business. This doesn't turn you into a suit-wearing corporate entity far removed from the action. Rather, it helps you take control of your business in a way that makes sense for you. Here's the 10 shifts you can make and how you can make them. The first one is from doer to architect, and those that I work with know I use this term all the time. Be the architect in your business. The shift is to stop you fixing things and start designing systems. The science behind it is that our brains love the completion bias, which is a hit of dopamine we get from crossing off small tactical tasks. However, this keeps us trapped in low-value work. This is useful if it is that we're incrementally working to a strategic end, but if we're just focused on the tactical tasks, it keeps us trapped in that work. Here's how you might overcome it. Record yourself doing a task using a screen recording tool. You might use Quick Player or Loom. And then what you want to do is embed that video into a standard operating procedure, or SOP. That standard operation procedure, it might be a Word document, it could be a Google document, it could live in a Notion, it could live in your OneDrive. Basically, what you're building is a company brain that exists outside your own. One of the things I also recommend to others is, if you're not on the computer necessarily, that you utilize voice recording to talk about what it is that you do, so that you're recording the process and getting it out of your head into something that can be transcribed and then documented. So the second one is from short-term to long-term. So what the shift is here is that we trade fighting fires to plant forests. Evolutionarily, we are wired for immediate survival. Overcoming this requires strengthening the prefrontal cortex through future self visualization, which reduces the psychological distance between today's costs and tomorrow's gains. How we can do this? A practical tool is the 1-3-1 rule. For every problem brought to you, require the team, or if you're a team of one, make sure that you clearly define the problem. Number 3 is identify 3 potential solutions. And then number 1, So 131 is make a recommendation. This forces long-term thinking at all levels. So clearly define the problem, identify potential solutions, and then make a recommendation. Number 3 is going from expert to constant learner. The shift here is letting go of being the smartest person in the room. This is the move from a fixed mindset to what Carol Dweck termed a growth mindset. It lowers cortisol levels associated with the fear of being found out as wrong, allowing for better creative problem solving. This kind of goes against what we were taught throughout school, where you had to get an A or complete all the questions and get them all right on a test. Really, what the shift here is that we're experimenting and we're learning from our experiments. The tool here is called the post-mortem spreadsheet. You can create a shared doc where every failure is logged not as a mistake, but as a data point. Column A, what happened? Column B, what did we learn? Column C, how do we update the system? Number 4 is from risk averse to risk managed. The shift loss aversion makes the pain of losing $100 feel twice as intense as the joy of gaining $100. Managing risk through micro experiments bypasses the amygdala's fear response. The pre-mortem here is that before a launch, we gather the team and ask, imagine it's a year from now and this has failed. Why did it happen? This identifies risks before they become expenses. Number 5 is from control to empowerment, moving from the gatekeeper to the enabler. Self-determination theory suggests that autonomy is a primary human need. Micromanagement kills intrinsic motivation. Empowerment fuels it, making people feel like they can do the job themselves. What we might have here is a decision rights matrix. So we clearly define which decisions employees can make without approval. For example, you might say that they can offer a refund for anything under $100. They can use communication channels for specific projects to provide context without the need for the manager to hover. It's also about building that trust and in training in skills within your team too. Number 6 is from an internal focus to customer value, obsessing over outcomes and not just metrics. Cognitive empathy, which is the ability to understand the customer's perspective, allows you to predict market shifts before they happen. What we can do here is the jobs to be done framework. What we do is survey our customers, not on how we did, but on what job were you trying to do when you hired us. We use tools like Typeform to automate this feedback loop and feed into our system. Number 7 is from scarcity to abundance and seeing opportunities instead of threats. A scarcity mindset puts the brain in tunnel vision mode. This actually can reduce our IQ by up to 13 points. An abundance mindset widens the peripheral vision, allowing you to see non-obvious partnerships. So instead of seeing someone else's success negatively, we share in the delight of their success. We have the idea that there's always more. We can make real strategic decisions about what we say yes to and what we say no to. What we could use here is the stop doing list, which is where you write down 5 things you're going to stop doing to make room for high value opportunities. You might use a physical whiteboard in your office to keep your big goals visible so that you can see it all the time. You might even have it on a digital dashboard if you've got that with remote teams. Number 8 is from silos to systems thinking. The shift here is seeing the business as one interdependent organism. Gestalt psychology is the idea that the whole is different than the sum of its parts. If we optimize one department, like sales, it can often break another, like fulfillment. What we want to do here is map our entire business process from lead to delivery on one whiteboard or canvas of some sorts. Seeing the flow visually helps us identify bottlenecks that aren't department specific. I highly recommend that we do this anyway as we enter the age of agentic AI. Number 9 is going from lone hero to collaborative leader, where we leverage the collective brain. Social facilitation is where we perform better and think more creatively when we collaborate with diverse minds. The lone hero is a recipe for cognitive exhaustion. What could work here is mastermind groups, peer boards, online communities, but also within your team. And if you're a team of one, who do you work with that you can talk with, that you can be creative, collaborate with? Who's within your circle? You could join or start a group of non-competing business owners, or use a digital platform, join the 25/8 community and meet other like-minded businesses in that way, helping to make sure that you don't feel isolated. And the final one, number 10, is from burnout to sustainable performance. Protecting your energy as a core infrastructure for your business is really important. The Yerkes-Dodson law shows that performance increases with physiological arousal, but only up to a point. Beyond that, it crashes. Rest is not a luxury. It's a biological requirement for high-level strategy. Ensuring that your energy levels are right ensures that you're more strategic, more creative, and you're going to get more done in the long run. What we might do here is time block. Use a digital calendar and color code your deep work and your recovery blocks. If it isn't in the calendar, it doesn't exist. Use a wearable ring like an Oura ring to track how stress correlates with your recovery data. At its simplest, it's just checking in with yourself to understand what your levels are currently and what those triggers might be. So the move from doer to architect is the single most important project you'll probably ever undertake in your business. And it requires you to fire yourself from the daily grind so you can hire yourself for the future, ensuring the long-term sustainable success of your business. If you want help going from the engine to the engineer, from the doer to the architect, from the practitioner to the practice leader, then the next level growth would benefit you greatly. Applications are open now for the next cohort, hoping we get to support you soon. Thanks for listening to Make Time, a business podcast by 25/8. If you like the show, please take a moment to write a review and feedback on what you'd like to hear next. If you never want to miss an episode, hit subscribe or follow on your favourite listening channel. If you want to get even smarter, join our newsletter, community, or take one of our programs. Links down below. See you next time.